Hi, welcome back to Misguided. This is episode 3, and this episode is titled Keep Your Circle Small. Again, I am your host, Haley Alana, and welcome back. I am excited. I can't believe we're already on episode 3. This has been a crazy, crazy ride. Now, this will be the last episode that's like pre-recorded because I recorded like the intro, the first episode, the second, and this is now going to be like the third. Where like it's not released before, so it's pre-recorded. Because I want to go ahead and give y'all time to listen and then give feedback, and then I'll move into episode like 4 with your written feedback and everything like that. So, but fun fact, this was actually supposed to be episode 4, but I had a real keen spirit thing in me. It was like, girl, keep your circle small the 3rd episode. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. And when I say keep your circle small, I'm talking about friendships. Yes, we will be diving right on into friendships. Man, a lot of life lessons here on friends. I know that as you transition into adulthood, and even once you become 18 and all that, friendships get tricky. And here's why. Because you're moving from like a child into adult. And I feel like the expectations of a friend starts to change. And I'm just going to give you the real here. If nobody told you yet, your friend circle is going to change. Especially for my ladies still in high school, your circle is going to change. Now, every once in a while, everybody has like that girl group that's stuck together since 3rd, grade, or like preschool, something like that. But for the most part, most people will go on to college or they leave high school and they start making new friends. And some of you, even in high school, start learning that, hey, my friend back from preschool, she wasn't or he wasn't really who they was supposed to be. They're not really cool like that no more. So, and you have to let them go. So, I'll just give some personal experience here. I've had quite the roller coaster with friendships. Nothing too serious. I feel like these are things that most people go through. My best friend, I have 2 best friends. One of my friends, no, actually I don't have 2 best friends. I have 3. Yeah, 3. I don't want to put a number on it. But first and foremost, like my main circle, like of course my bestest friend, like my number 1 is going to be Taylor. We've known each other since we were babies. And then there's Ariana, and then I have Elizabeth, and then, so on and so forth. But, we got Ohima, we got Chrissy. I mean, these are people that I truly confide in. So if I don't went down that list and you're not in it, Bruno too, excuse me. How could I forget Bruno? If I went on that list and you're not in it, and we like friends. It doesn't mean like we're not friends or anything. We're not cool, but it's just like those people are the people that I confide in the most. Those are people I will feel comfortable going with my deepest, darkest secret, and I know for sure that they're not going to tell. That's the thing. I trust them. And for me, trust is something that is earned, not given. So, yeah. But those are like my main people, my main folks. I've dealt with so many like friend things. Oh god, it's like in my head. But I think it's so interesting because it's like as life kind of like changes, as you change, like your friend group changes. It's like people who you thought were your friends are no longer your friends anymore. Like imagine going to school with somebody for years because you're from K, so like our pre-K to like 12th grade. That's about 13 years right there. So imagine going to school with somebody for 13 years and then all of a sudden you don't got your diploma, y'all off, now y'all don't speak anymore. Or y'all beefed about something, now y'all don't speak anymore. That's crazy. But it's normal. It's normal. I've learned that a lot of us become friends through proximity. Meaning that in my case with Taylor and like my other friends who I mentioned, like Taylor and I, we became friends because we were babies. We grew up in church together. Ariana, Elizabeth, and Bruno and I, we all became friends because we went to school together. I became friends with Ohima because we went to school together. We were in the same program together. That is how we became friends through proximity. I saw them for a period of time every single day. So that is how we were able to build and maintain a friendship. Now, Taylor and I's story is a little bit different. Yes, we grew up together, but around 5, she ended up, moving away. And we didn't see each other. I think the next time I saw her, I was 6 years old, 5 or 6 when she moved away. And then the next time I saw her, I was, oh Jesus Christ. I think I was maybe in the 5th grade. And then I saw her again. I didn't see her again until I was in the 9th grade. And then after I graduated, and then I moved back, and now we see each other almost every single day. So yeah, that's a little bit different. And we have a friendship to where it doesn't matter how much time has passed, we always pick up where we left off. And I will be honest, things in that friendship have changed. I remember when I first started hanging out with Taylor again, it was so awkward because it was just like, I haven't seen you in so long. And it's like, I'm different. And I was just like, I need people to understand that I'm different. I'm not who I was back then. But now that we hang out with each other every day, I think we have a mutual understanding that, hey, we're different and we see things in a different way. And, there's just some things there's things and boundaries and stuff like that may have flown as children that now that I'm an adult woman, that's not going to fly. I don't do that no more. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's not my personality. So a lot of us become friends through proximity, and we build bonds and we build relationships with people that we see every day. But it's like as we mature and we grow up and we go out and see things in the world, like we go off to college and then we link up with our friends again, like the vibe isn't the same anymore. And for some people were friends just because of proximity. Because you sat next to me in class, now we're friends. And now that we have split up and we done went our separate ways and we done came back to hang out, now we don't vibe on the same length anymore. And I feel like when we are children, and especially through like preteen, teenage years, we tend to let things fly with our friends. Because A, we're either too immature to catch them. B, we don't want to cause any tension. And yeah, that's the only two I can think of right now. But yeah, those, for the most part, those are the main things that we, there we go. Our parents intervene and tell us that, hey, this may not be such a good person, but we're just like, oh my God, mom, dad, you don't understand. So And 9 times out of 10, if it's not our dad, like, but our moms end up being right about those people. But when I look back and examine the friendships I had, especially in high school, and observing other people's friendships in high school, girl, oh my God, there was so many things going on that I would never let fly as a 21-year-old woman. And it's not that far away. Like, I started high school when I was 14 and I ended when I was about 17 and a half. No, not even 17 and a half. 17 and maybe like 3/4, because June and September. So yeah. It was like, girl, what's going on? I even had a problem with some of this stuff when I was in high school. I will never forget that people used to have like these big groups of friends. And when I mean big groups of friends, I mean like 8 to 10 people, mixed of girls and boys. Now, I was kind of an outlier to that, or like an exception to the rule, because the majority of my friends in my group in high school were girls. We had one guy, which was Bruno, and that was, pretty much it. And sometimes Bruno didn't always hang around with us. So he would go have lunch with somebody else or something like that. So it was mostly just us women. So when I would look at some of these other people, it would be like, okay, 1 week, this girl and this boy are dating in the friend group. Cool. All right. So maybe a few weeks pass, maybe a month or so passes. Things don't work out. Some time passes, and then, okay, another girl from that friend group starts dating this guy. Same guy. And then that girl will go and date another boy in the friend group. And it's just like, what's going on? Why are we dating each other? Why are we passing around men like this? Are we passing around? That's not cute. And when I think of it now as an adult, I'm just like, damn, that was toxic. That would never fly in my book as a woman. I could not even fathom dating somebody my friend dated or even was acquaintances with. Like, now, hold on, because it depends. Now, when I say acquaintance, like, it'd be one thing if my friend had no feelings for this guy, they never talked or nothing, and like they just happened to know each other, fine. But if my friend or he ever expressed any interest in my friend, why would I go date him? That's off limits. And people can call me petty if they want to. I don't care. I just think that there are certain things that are off limits. Like there's a girl code that you have to abide by. And it gets important, especially when you become an adult, because unfortunately in the society, women do not have the privilege of gaining a reputation back. So you could do something as a young person, or just make a mistake or make a wrong decision, and girl, that is your legacy. Like that, not necessarily your whole legacy, but it becomes what people know you for. Case in point, recently what just happened with Portia from Real Housewives, and then I think the other lady, Fallon. And I know a lot of people have said this, like, Portia, I don't watch Real Housewives anymore. I kind of stopped, I think, right after Phaedra left, or a little bit before, because when things get too hectic, I gotta go. But it's like, Portia, I do follow her on Instagram, and she's been doing so much work with, Breonna Taylor, the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's just like, and she's the granddaughter to, I think his name is like Hosea Williams. I believe he did work with Martin Luther King. So it's like, all this work you done did is now a little discredited because You went out and, you dealt with this man. And come to find out, Portia and Fallon were not even friends like that. But unfortunately, you don't get your reputation back. Same thing with, you know, I think the most infamous situation is Monica Lewinsky. She had an affair with, Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton ain't losing no sleep over this. I mean, he got impeached, but he wasn't kicked out of office or nothing. He's still married to Miss Hillary, and he's still doing political work. They still doing, still holding offices, and they still have the ability to hold office and do anything. But I haven't really heard too much from Monica. And that's just a simple mistake. So it's just like, unfortunately, you don't get your reputation back. So I would never, in my right mind or my bad mind, ever, or my wrong mind, ever do something like that, because number one, I know the repercussions that come with that. Not even just in my friend group or like my social status, but also karma in general. Karma has a funny way of doing that to people. I know there's gonna be somebody who's just like, well, men date the same woman all the time. But here's the thing, men put women automatically into a category of, okay, she's just for fun, she's this, she's wife material, whatever. Women, we don't do that with men. Case in point, Portia, this isn't, oh, we just having fun with Simon. No, she is engaged to be married to this man. Now, men, like, it's kind of quick. Like, if they do it with a woman, it's just like, okay, which is really sad, actually. But it's like, okay, she's, this is the girl you have fun with. So here you go. Women, no, she got a whole relationship. Like, she will be married to this man. She will maybe have more children with this man. She will, like, So her name is forever tied to that. But it's just like the friendship dynamic. We know they're not friends, but at first we didn't. So like, I could never, in my right mind, whether we were close friends or anything like that, just be out here messing with doing all that. And another point, like, friendships can get tricky. Friendships get tricky after once you start the whole high school, then you become an adult. I'm gonna put it out here, it's really hard to make friends after high school. Again, because that is how we meet most of our friends, and that is how you will meet most of your friends. It's just through proximity. And as an adult, it's, once you graduate high school and everything, you kind of, unless you're going to college or like some type of structured place, if you're just out here kind of just, doing your thing, figuring things out, it can be hard to make friends because you're not going somewhere on a consistent basis. I mean, if you have like a job or something, you're going straight into the workforce, okay, maybe, but we don't befriend coworkers like that. So you gotta listen. We get into it. But there's that. You can't. It's very hard. Even in a college setting, it's kind of hard to make friends or find your circle. Like, I had a circle in junior college, but then, I moved away. So now I'm at a whole new university. I've been there for a year, but, COVID hit, so I've been home for most of that year. And then now it's like I'm a senior. This is my last year in undergrad, and I still haven't found like my group of people. So it can be kind of hard to make consistent friends after you graduate, because it's like when you're in high school and stuff, you have the same classes, y'all have lunch, y'all have designated time to spend together. Once you get to college or once you get out into the workforce, it becomes it's a you thing. You are that person. Y'all have to mutually come together and be like, okay, we're going to go brunch. We're going to go to this amusement park. We're going to go shopping. We're going to go here. We're going to go to the club. We're going to go there. It has to be a mutually planned thing. And, sometimes vibes are off. I feel like you can kind of tell when somebody wants to be your friend and when it's going to work out. And you can kind of tell when it's not. But yeah, friendships get tricky because responsibilities, like, I see this debate a lot on Twitter about how, and it's usually this debate or discussion or whatever you want to call it on Twitter comes when, somebody will post a quote about friendship and being like, oh, well, I'm this kind of friend, you can text me, but, we're not going to talk every day. And, or grow up, your friends have responsibilities or, different friendship expectations. And I feel like it's important to note that as you get older, your expectations for friendships are going to change. They are. And everybody has a different perspective of what friendship looks like and what it is. But this debate on Twitter is about, depending on which side it is on, it's like, oh, well, y'all need to grow up because friends have responsibilities and stuff like that. And it's just like, no, if I need you, you need to be there. Now, where I stand on it, I'm not a phone talker. I'm more of a texter. I'm not much of a phone talker. I'm not. I'm gonna have very, very bad phone anxiety. I think the only person I can, my core friends I can sit on the phone with, and then my mom, of course, my sister, I can sit on the phone with them because, I talk to them. But other people, I kind of have a hard time doing the whole phone thing, or I have to really like you. After, if we're talking, we're talking on the phone, we feeling each other out, I have to really, really like you to sit on the phone with you. Because if not, I'm going to have to text you back. But, yeah. I'm one of them friends who I feel like I'm more of a dependable friend. Now, I may not be able to be with you physically all the time because, yes, I have a life. I have responsibilities. I have things I need to do. But if you need me, I'm going to do my best to get you what you need and be there for you in the best way that I possibly can. Now, I feel like with mental health becoming a big part of, of a discussion now, and being is becoming a more important part of society, I feel like there are some things when it comes to these friendship expectations. It's like, I feel like you need to be right to be able to handle them. Now, and I feel like this not only applies to friendships, but also your romantic relationships, any relationships, honestly. But I feel like some people have this thing, and again, this is where I say emotional intelligence is so important. Some people have this thing to where they feel like, I don't want to say use people, but it's like an emotional dumping ground. You have people who will become friends with you because, and I know I'm one of the people because I have I attract a lot of people who are broken. I do attract fixed people. Hold on now. But I attract a lot of people who are broken and who have a lot going on. And I do know people who only will call me or text me if they are going through something. They will never ask, hey Lee, how's your day? How's things going with you? How are you? Or if they do, it's very, very much glossed over, and it's just like, okay, here's what I'm going through. I need help. And I feel like that's just wrong. A lot of these people who are just like, I should be able to be your friend and come vent to you, will not even open up space to let you vent to them. They will pull the whole, well, I'm not really in a space to receive that right now. Well, neither am I to like to like receive what you have going on. And 9 times out of 10, what that other person who's not willing to listen to you or is, their stuff is much heavier. And what I like now, is that people are starting to incorporate like, okay, listen, like if you have something to tell me, I'd rather you be like, hey, I have something to share, some things I'm going through, I need to share with you. Are you in a space to receive, like, listen to that? Or like, and like person be like, okay, well, and that's one thing I've started to incorporate is asking people, okay, you want to vent to me. Okay. Now, is this just a vent session where you just vent, or is this where you need some advice followed after? Because I feel like I have become a person who like I will give unsolicited advice or not needed, and I can admit that. And it's wrong. It's wrong. And I need to do better. And that's why I've been trying to incorporate that into conversations like, hey, am I just listening to you, or is this something you need help? Like you need more help. So there's that. But it's really interesting to see how people now as adults view friendship, and how friendship, it changes once you become an adult. As a kid, we don't really ask for too much when it comes to the friendship. Just be loyal, don't be fake. Now, I do think that there are some friendship situations in high school that it's just like, y'all are too young to be going through that. I don't understand. But I understand some people have to grow up faster, or, certain situations present themselves that are unavoidable. And there's that. But yeah, it's just like your friendship expectations definitely will change. And it's important to know that your circle will change. It will. It will. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. And it makes me think of the whole election with, oh man, I think the first time around, who was it? Yeah, it was Hillary Clinton, and then, 45. We're not going to give him no clout on this podcast. But, and then it was Joe and bruh. It was them. And it was just like people were really trying to be like, well, I don't base my friendships off politics or just like that. But it's just like, we talking about human rights here. And I'm not trying to say like, I believe birds of a feather flock together, Yeah. We out here on our own, pretty much. But I'll never forget my mom and my uncle were kind of like, that was kind of a hard time for them because they were, removing some people out of their life, because it was like, it's weird because you grow up, you go to school with these people, and it's like now that they're adults, they have a certain way of thinking now, or the expectations are different. Their mindset has changed. They've grown up. And it's just like, dang, do they really think this way about me, about my children? And that can be a hard thing. My mom and my uncle, they, my grandfather, which is their dad, they grew up military kids. For the most part, military kids, they be sticking together, okay? They stick together because they know. And it was hard for my mom because, it's like, she told me military kids for the most part back then, because my mother grew up like in the 60s, 70s. So she's like, for the most part, military, it was diverse. Like, I mean, there were, it wasn't too much, it was a pretty diverse environment. So, for people who I went to school with to, kind of think like that, it was like, you know, it was surprising. But I also saw that my mom, where it didn't get her down too much, because it's like, it's a lesson we all got to learn. Our friends that we made will not always be our friends. And that's okay. There was a lady that my mom went to high school, was her best friend in high school, helped deliver my sister. My mom had to end her friendship with her. She was like, I had to, remove her off Facebook. It was hard because, we were best friends at one point. I saw her every day. We hung out all the time. But that is life. And that's not to discourage y'all from like friendship or nothing, or to close yourselves off from new people. But, we have to realize that people come into our lives for two reasons, either to be a blessing or a lesson. And sometimes those lessons don't come till, 20 years down the line. I think it is hard to end a friendship when, it has been 20 or 30 years, of course. Because there's an attachment there. There's care, there's concern there, there's love. But there's some things that are greater than that. If you're not being treated well in this friendship, if you're not being respected, if you're not being cared for in this relationship or a friendship, you gotta cut it off. And I remember the first time I think I had to cut off a friendship, which, when I cut off a friendship, it's never been like beef per se. It's always been kind of okay, well, we're not seeing eye to eye right now, or like you're being weird. There was always some situation that took me away from these people, from these types of people. So it was just like, I really didn't have to do too much. I just had to, God always showed me favor and took care of it for me. I just didn't have to. And I know some people argue, well, girl, you didn't really address it or nothing like that. But you know when a friendship is dead. You know when it's over. You know when things ain't going how they need to be. So, you bounce. Not everything needs to be at least in my opinion, a confrontation. Unless that person severely offended you and did something, not everything needs a confrontation. It doesn't. We grew apart. I wish you well, hopefully vice versa, and then that's that. But I think it's important with all those things about friendship to like keep your circle small. I think especially if you had a big group of friends in high school or something, or you have a big group of friends now, once you get to college or something, you meet your like one or two friends and you be like, oh my God, I need more friends. No, you don't. Keep your circle small. Always keep your circle small. Whether that's friendship, relationships, whatever, keep your circle small. Because very few people on this earth care about you, like genuinely care about you. I always thought that I had to be somebody who, had a lot of friends. When I got to my university, I felt myself slipping back into that mindset. But then I realized, like, no. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good to know people and it's good to make connections and network with folks. But the term friend is thrown around so loosely these days to where it's like, and there's for some people, like, they sound good at first, They talk a good game with friendship, and then like after that, they suck. They just they do. And they didn't meet your expectations. But I feel like, in this society, we use friend and family like so loosely. A lot of people who I thought were my friends were actually just acquaintances, people I knew in proximity, associates. I believe when you keep your circle small and you really examine who's really there for you and who is meeting your expectations, and for some people even exceeding your expectations, you really start to place a value on what you're looking for. Now, this doesn't say don't be that person who's closed off to new connections, because I feel like you can make friends anywhere. Like, there's so much technology, there's so many opportunities to make friends with people. But one tip I will give is it is important to vet your friends. Vet your friends. Make sure that they understand your expectations. And I saw this a really cool thing on TikTok where I believe these girls had like met on the internet, and then like I think somebody flew out to go see somebody, and then like they had a friend, or maybe they lived in the same city, I don't know. But they had a friend date. So like a date where they talked about being friends and like see, like kind of like dating, but like, to see if they would align as friends. And I thought that was so cool. And that would be something I would totally implement, because we'll meet somebody. I know me, I'll meet somebody at school and I'll be like, oh shoot, we finna be friends. And then I see them do some things that, okay, I don't think I'd be into that. And it's not like big things, but it's just like, oh, they party like every night. They party like 70% of the week. That's not me. Or they always have to be out. That's not me either. It's not. Or I don't see them studying. So there's that. I feel like we need to do a better job vetting our friends. We need to vet more. Vet your friends. See? And it's not even vetting to like end or begin a friendship. Sometimes you just need to check in with your friends. One thing, because me and Taylor, we've been friends for a really long time. So one thing, I've had to start learning how to do is when she does something I don't like, or she says something, I gotta tell her. I gotta tell her like, hey, I wasn't really feeling too cool about this. Or if there's an idea, because we're both kind of like leaders at nature. So there's, but I'm one of the people who, if you start leading and your plan sounds all right, I may not be in full agreement with it, but it's okay. I'll sit back. But I can't do that. If it's something where I'm just like, now I'm starting to insert myself more and be like, hey, I don't agree with that. We need to do it this way. Or we need to be thinking about this. Or that's a good idea, but what about this? Which vetting your friends gets me into coworkers. For my ladies who are just now entering the workforce, because I know some people don't work jobs in high school, or maybe you're in college already and you're about to get a job or something part-time because it's summer or something. Your coworkers, vet your coworkers. I don't think, like I said, you can meet friends anywhere. Some of the best friendships happen with people at work. But what you need to know is that not everybody at work is your friend and is looking out for your best interest. When you go to work, you need to have a every man for himself mentality. You do. You need to always be like, hey, you need to keep your head on a swivel. You need to be looking out for you. Collect your bag and go. Now, if you happen to make friends and talk to people throughout the way, that's cool. But keep it at a distance and vet them. Because when you do this, guess what? You start figuring out who's really for you and who's not. You should always be looking out for yourself first. If there's a situation that happens at work and you need to go to like management or something like that, or anything like that, or if there's a situation involving you and your coworker friend, just know you need to be looking out for you. Now, if it was something like blatantly wrong where like y'all both agree like, hey, that was wrong, and that's different. But if there's something going on, look out for yourself first, because I promise you, 9 times out of 10, not even 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, they are going to look out for them. They're going to look out for them. And you will be sitting there because loyalty, I'm loyal, and you will loyal yourself out of a job. I'm not saying don't be loyal to people. That's a good quality to have. But be strategic with your loyalty. Vet your coworker friends, because it can be different. You might have a situation with your coworker friend or dealing with your coworker friend, and y'all may have gotten on the phone. Y'all may have been on FaceTime for hours talking about how, yeah, girl, she was wrong. Yeah, bruh, he was wrong. Yeah, he was wrong. Like that person was wrong, all that. But the minute they get up to management, all of a sudden it's, well, that wasn't a problem for me. I'm okay. And then look at you. Now you left by yourself, and you about to do that out of a job. Not only for that reason you want to vet your friends, but the second reason is, let's say you need a day off or something, or like you need to go take care of something. And let's say after you finish taking care of what you take care of, you go out and have like a, let's say like you go out to lunch, you like have a drink with a friend or something like that. I know situations where that has happened to somebody, and like a coworker will come to a manager and be showing off the social media, saying, oh yeah, look, she's here. I mean, of course, like if you are taking a day, I can't tell y'all what to do and what not to, but if you're taking a day off for you, a you day, and you just happen to go out, and don't really post about it. Like just kind of keep it on low, or keep it to your close friends, or have a close friend story where your coworkers are not involved. Or, hey, don't have your coworkers on social media, period. I do, but they're not, I don't think they're on my close friends. No. I don't know. But either way, if I was going to take a mental health day, or I'm taking a mental health day, you won't see me on, you just won't. So there's that. But yeah, you always want to be vetting your friends, because you want to keep your drama at your workplace to a minimum. You don't want no mess. You don't want people in your business. That's another thing. Coworker or not, maybe this is a school friend, keeping your circle small keeps folks out of your business. It keeps folks out of your business, because when you got 1,000,005 friends, guess what? They gonna know what's going on with you. They're gonna know, because you hang out with them. Like they're just gonna know. But when you keep your circle small, people can only look at you and guess. And I guarantee you, it's better for them to guess than for them to know all of your business. It just is. Another point of keeping your circle small is because you need to be selective of who you're confiding in. When you got a big group of friends, and I don't know if this is, I think this is sociology, where, in big groups of friends, 2 to 3 people are going to connect more than they'll hang out with like the general group. But in that group, you will always have people, there might even be more than one group, but like groups of 2 to 3 people who will hang out outside of that general group. They're closer to like the people in that intergroup than they are with the general group. And that happens. But keep it small, because like you can't trust everybody out here. Yes, you should be trusting. It's a good thing to trust people, but you you got 1,000,005 people knowing your business. Keep your circle small. Keep your circle small. When you keep your circle small, the drama gets smaller. Big things are now little things. You don't have to worry about that. And I get it. You know, when you it's hard to have friends. I think that I feel like every woman should have a good group of girlfriends. If not even a good group, 2 to 3 friends. Or shoot, 1 to 3 friends. 1 to 3 friends. I feel like once you pass like 3 and then y'all, you know what? Y'all know how the story goes. You pass 3, y'all do the whole Miami trip. Now y'all not friends no more. And now y'all not speaking. So, oh man, not the Miami trip. But Miami really test friendships. Taylor and I, we have never been to Miami. Well, we have been to Miami, of course, but we've never been like as friends, you know. But we're going on a trip to Orlando soon. So it's like, we don't really argue on trips or anything like that because, we know what it is. But it's like, what is it? I want to know, what is it about Miami that tests like girl trips? Because I know planning trips with people is hard. Like, here I am going off on a tangent, but planning trips with people is hard because, money and all that type of stuff. But dang, I know people want to say it's Miami, but I feel like it's deeper than that. I feel like it's a group of people who should have never been friends to begin with. And one thing I do on YouTube is I watch story times about these girls' trips. And some of these girls haven't even known each other that long. Like, I feel like Taylor and I would be able to get through a Miami trip. Ariana and I would be able to get through a Miami trip. Ohima and I would be able to get through a Miami trip. Like, we just would. That's just because we would have our money together. We'd have our shit together. Like, we just would. But y'all, all I gotta say is, I don't want to ever discourage y'all from making friends. Like, that's not what keeping your circle small was even about. No. Go out, meet people, make connections, but vet. That is one thing us young women, I've noticed that we don't do, especially me. I'll be like, okay, the vibe is good. Mind you, I'm a very intuitive person, but my heart, I like to give people chances. But you can't always do that. You can't, unfortunately. So it's like, you can't always do it. So I know for me personally, I need to become better at vetting. And it's something that I've really learned recently. Actually, the first time I learned about vetting was like for men, which, yeah, you do that too. But vetting your friends is so important. You always want to make sure like the expectations are there. Y'all's views align. I'm not saying friends cannot have differing opinions, but like, we can have differing opinions on like colors, states, like, I like Texas, you like New York better, like West Coast, East Coast. Like, we could have disagreements about that. But basic human rights and other stuff like misogyny, that type of stuff, colorism too, that type of stuff is non-negotiable. It's just not. And I feel like you are much better able to avoid these problems when you keep your circle small and you vet your friends. I feel like there was a lot of friendship situations that I dealt with had I vetted my friends properly. I think I was so in tune with, like, I was so gung-ho about like having more friends, but Just like more money, more problems, more people, more problems. Like, you know, and being that I am an introvert, extrovert, like my social battery can die like after maybe 3/4 of an event. But it's like when you keep, I've noticed that like by keeping my circle small and keeping people close, I don't really have too many problems. Also, last thing is like letting people go. I know it's a hard thing to do, but that's a part of keeping your circles small. When somebody is not aligning with your views, or not even just aligning with your views, but they're disrespecting you, you're not, like I said, you're not being treated well in that relationship. They got some opinions that just harmful, because certain opinions about misogyny and colorism and basic human rights and, people, lower class people in society, all race, all that type of stuff. Some of those opinions are harmful. Some of those mindsets are harmful to people. So if they have that, then you damn sure don't need to be friends with them. But that's all I have for today as far as friends and keeping your circle small. I definitely have to get into a part two. I'm thinking for that I will have a guest on here. I'll probably bring in Taylor, and we can sit down and we can really like discuss this. But again, I want to thank y'all so much for watching, for listening. Y'all don't know how much joy it brings me to get on this mic. I enjoy doing this. And I'm getting more comfortable by the episode with it. So, but like I said, this is going to be the last like pre-recorded, because I haven't officially like released Misguided yet. So this is the last like pre-recorded before the release, because I definitely want to get feedback and see what I need to improve on, what I need to do better on. I know somebody gonna comment on the sound, but unfortunately right now I cannot prevent that. My neighbors are loud. I'm sure I can go complain to the office, but they're kids and they're up 24 hours round the clock. So, hopefully we don't have that problem at my next location. And I'm probably going to see if I can record somewhere else. It's kind of just hard to find places because, I'm sure, I can go other places and record and everything, but it's like I like being, you know, I like being in my home, you know. I feel like I'm more comfortable at home. But thank y'all for watching and listening and hanging out with me. I cannot wait for what's to come. I'm going to give you a little preview of our next episode. Our next episode is going to be Who Am I? I'm really excited for that. And I know y'all have been waiting for it, which the next episode, Who Am I, will complete like season 1. I'm only going to do 4 episodes. But the fifth episode, which is going to be like the season 2 starter up, we going to start diving into boys. We going to start talking about men and relationships and stuff, because I know y'all waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, so I know you are. And I haven't even released Misguided yet. So we will definitely be doing that. Yeah. And I'll talk a little bit more. And season 2 will be a little bit more about like my upbringing a little bit. I definitely plan to do an episode about being a preacher's kid and growing up in the church, just from my like soul perspective. And then I believe I will bring Taylor on to discuss how it was for her and how it is for us now, because we still attend the same church that we grew up in, and it does cause some things. But yeah, I'm out of here for real, y'all. Thanks for watching. And again, follow me on Instagram. Stay connected with me on Instagram. It'll be Haley Alana _ 921. Follow the podcast Instagram, which is Miss Guided. So it's going to be ms.guided_podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube, Haley Alana _ 921. And then follow me on Twitter, interact with me on Twitter, Haley Alana. And yes, I look forward to seeing y'all in the next episode. Thanks so much and take care.